We've got our iPhone set up, and we're going to go ahead and stream to the iPad. So I'm going to stop now and hit screen record. Okay, so here we are working on backswing. We have the iPad, which we're screen recording right here, in your hands, and you can size and position Rory and yourself so that you line up well. Now you can also do this without live view, but you'll end up wanting to use checkpoints. I'll do a separate video on that one. But once you get set up, basically you're going to want to set the iPad in a place on the ground where you can see it. And then over here you can set start and finish points. And you can also set the speed over here. So you might want to start slower, but I kind of like starting with the 16th speed, but maybe when you're first doing it, a 32nd or even a 64th might be good. So here you're basically trying to put yourself inside Rory and follow his positions. Now the focus is on feel, not, you don't want to get too mechanical, and nothing really should feel unnatural. Remember, his backswing ultimately is going to be very fast. So you need to keep that in mind, that it's a flowing, ultimately it's going to be a flowing, quick backswing. But here we're just trying to get the feel and build muscle memory. Now the best way to use this is to work on a segment and then actually swing and see what happens. And I'll go through 4 different times where I hit the ball. So here I just hit record, and now you're going to go ahead and swing. So I'm going to try to follow Rory on that backswing, and then from the top I'll get set, and then I'll really just hit from the top. Now if you're trying to do a full swing, you'll probably end out putting yourself in a different position. So I like kind of pausing there and then just hitting from the top. So you can hit stop. You can see one thing on the slow motion backswing. When the video comes in, it is, should be here any second. You're going to need to fix that because it was only the downswing on. The automatic swing detector doesn't work as well with the super slow backswing. So you may need to trim. And then you're just going to do analysis. I won't go through all this. I ended up quick syncing and manual syncing some, just to have it line up really well. And I noticed, my elbow out wide, doing more arms and not turning as much with the body, head lifting up some, and some other differences. So whatever the main differences you see, then you're going to go try again. Now, in this one, there's a good technique, which instead of following it, you set a position and then you just move to that spot. So here I go parallel to the ground, and then I move it up to arm parallel to the ground and work on that spot, and then I work on the top in that position. Now you may want to stop this short if you're feeling like that's just too much of a stretch. I know I'm having to rotate my hips more just to try to get the upper body, and then go ahead and swing away again, and then do your same analysis. So there, swing away, hit stop. Here I'm doing analysis. Basically, I find similar things that I hadn't gotten all the way there. And now I try again on the 3rd attempt. Now this one's interesting, and this is a good technique also, is just put it at the top. So now this is going to be a test of your ability to move through the right path. Again, we're just focused on backswing and getting the right position at the top. We'll do a separate video on downswing and through the ball. The backswing obviously is easier to sort of move slower and match those positions than the downswing, which is sort of a different animal. So here we go through, we do that, and then ultimately swing from the top a couple times. It trims to the last one. You can see there, we needed to fix this one also because the swing started there. So we then synced up and compared. Now this is interesting. Look at how much sort of habits, look where that backswing is. Not following his and then focusing on sort of that different elbow position, totally went inside again. So you'll see this is going to be a repetitive process. You're going to want to work on positioning, hit balls, then check out what's happening when you're hitting balls, go back, work on maybe 4 or 5 swings, and then go hit balls again. Again, you're focused on flow. So big differences there, and then try it a 4th time. Now this one, something that's really fun is starting at a 16th and useful, and then you move to an 8th speed and match up on an 8th. Do that for a little bit, and then change it to a 4th. Here I change it to a 4th in a second. So now that's a 4th. So now I'm moving quicker. I'm getting a better sense for the rhythm and trying to match that. Now, if you go to a half, you can see even on a 4th, I'm sort of losing them a little bit sometimes on that backswing. Go to a half, it's harder to match up, but it's still useful, and you do get a good sense of the rhythm, sort of backswing versus downswing. So that's basically it. So after you do this for a bit, this is the last sort of analyze session before I'd want to go hit balls. Otherwise, you can spend too much time sort of tweaking. Again, don't try to make all the changes at once. Don't necessarily try to match exactly. The pros don't match each other exactly. Just see what you can learn and find working against one of the best swings in the world, and see where that brings you. And so next I would hit balls, and then I would also look at face on, or maybe a 45-degree angle if that's available for the model that I'm using. Also, if you see differences and you're wondering about, look at other pros. Go in and see if others are doing something similar to you, or if you're doing something different than every pro. And if it's different than every pro, then you'll probably want to make a change. So ideally, you're maybe getting input from a teaching pro as well to make sure that you've got the right model and some good tips to help you get there, and then using the app to really try to refine and build that muscle memory. So thanks. Let us know if any questions or feedback or suggestions. Thank you.